She looked at him and smiled. "Just relax. I'll take care of you." Daniel Carter had postponed this appointment for months, partly because raising his 7-year-old daughter alone left little time, partly because the thought of an andrology exam made him want to run. But when he stepped into the clinic that morning and saw her, young, confident, with sharp eyes and a voice that was somehow both professional and warm, he froze. The doctor wasn't the older man he'd imagined. It was a woman. And from that one sentence, seemingly routine yet strangely intimate, a story far beyond a medical visit began. Daniel had been avoiding this since March. Now it was late September, and the receptionist had called twice, saying further delay would mean starting the referral process over. He told himself work kept him busy, loading trucks, unloading shipments, double shifts when someone called in sick. But the truth was simpler. He was embarrassed. The clinic sat on the 4th floor of a medical building near the interstate. He arrived early, filled out forms on a clipboard, and sat in a waiting room that smelled of disinfectant and coffee. A television mounted in the corner played a morning talk show with the sound off. He checked his phone. His daughter, Emma, had texted him a photo of her school lunch tray. She was 7. He texted back a thumbs up and slipped the phone into his jacket pocket. When the nurse called his name, he followed her down a narrow hallway to a room at the end. He stepped inside. The exam table was covered in white paper. A small sink stood in the corner. The walls were pale blue. Then the door opened again. The woman who entered wore a white coat over dark slacks and a simple blouse. Her hair was pulled back and she carried a tablet in one hand. She was younger than he expected. Much younger. "Good morning. I'm Dr. Celeste Morgan." Daniel nodded, his face warming. He'd assumed the doctor would be a man. The referral hadn't specified. She set the tablet on the counter and washed her hands at the sink. "I see this is your first visit with us. You were referred by Dr. Patel for some discomfort you've been experiencing." He cleared his throat. "Yeah, on and off for a few months." Her voice was calm, steady. "Can you describe it for me?" He explained briefly. The ache, the intermittent soreness, nothing severe but persistent enough that his primary care doctor had insisted he see a specialist. Dr. Celeste listened without interrupting. When he finished, she asked follow-up questions. How long had it been happening? Had he noticed any swelling? He answered as best he could. She made notes on the tablet. "All right," she said. "I'll need to do a physical exam. It's routine. I'll explain everything as we go." She gestured toward the exam table. "Go ahead and have a seat. You can leave your jacket on the chair." He did, his hands feeling clumsy as he folded the jacket. He sat on the edge of the table, paper crinkling beneath him. She moved closer. "I know this can feel awkward, but I do this every day and I promise it'll be quick. Just try to relax." He nodded, not trusting himself to speak. She began the exam, hands clinical, precise. She explained each step in a low voice. He stared at the ceiling tiles and tried to think about anything else. The electric bill, the noise Emma's school bus made, the way the rain had sounded the night before. "You're doing fine," Dr. Celeste said. He wasn't sure if that was medically accurate or just something she said to keep patients calm. Either way, it helped. When the exam was over, she stepped back and pulled off her gloves. "Everything looks normal. No signs of infection or structural issues. It's likely muscular strain or minor inflammation. I'll send you home with some recommendations. Anti-inflammatories, rest, avoiding heavy lifting for a week or so." He exhaled. "That's it?" She smiled. "That's it. But I want you to come back in 2 weeks so I can check again, just to be sure." He slid off the table and reached for his jacket. "Okay, thanks." She handed him a printed sheet with instructions. "If anything changes, if the pain gets worse or you notice anything unusual, call the office. Don't wait." He nodded and left. The elevator ride down felt longer than the ride up. He sat in his truck in the parking lot for a few minutes before starting the engine. He wasn't sure why he felt so rattled. The appointment had gone fine. She'd been professional, kind even, but something about the whole experience had lodged itself under his skin. He drove to the warehouse and clocked in late. His supervisor didn't say anything. That night, after Emma was asleep, he sat at the kitchen table with a beer he didn't really want. He pulled out the instruction sheet and read it again. At the bottom, Dr. Celeste Morgan, M.D., andrology and men's health. It wasn't attraction, he told himself. It was just the strangeness of it, the vulnerability. He'd spent so long managing everything on his own, Emma, the bills, the endless small emergencies of single parenthood, that being cared for, even clinically, felt unfamiliar. He finished the beer and went to bed. 2 weeks passed slowly. Work was steady. Emma came home with a spelling test she aced and a scraped knee from recess. The night before his follow-up appointment, he almost cancelled. He felt fine. The pain had faded. But he thought about what Dr. Celeste had said. Don't wait. So he kept the appointment. Dr. Celeste looked up when he entered, her expression brightening slightly. Good to see you again, Daniel. How have you been feeling? Better, he said. No pain. That's great. Let's take a quick look to make sure everything's healing well. The exam was shorter this time. When she finished, she nodded. Looks good. Whatever was causing the inflammation has cleared up. You're all set. He stood and reached for his jacket. So I don't need to come back. She tilted her head slightly. Not unless something comes up. But if you ever have concerns, don't hesitate to call. He was halfway to the door when she spoke again. How old is your daughter? He stopped, turned. 7. Why? She smiled. I saw the photo on your phone last time. She looked happy. He didn't know what to say. She is. That's good, Dr. Celeste said. Kids pick up on more than we think. If you're doing well, she probably is too. He left feeling lighter than he had in months. He didn't understand why. Nothing had changed. But something had shifted. Over the next few days, he found himself thinking about the appointment more than he should have. Not about the exam itself, but about the way she'd spoken to him. The small observation about Emma. The way she'd made him feel seen, not just as a patient, but as a person. He told himself it didn't matter. She was a doctor. He unloaded trucks. Their worlds didn't overlap. But when he woke up one morning with a dull ache in the same place, he didn't hesitate. He called the clinic. 3 days later, he was back. Dr. Celeste looked up when he entered. Daniel, back sooner than expected. Yeah, he said. It started up again. She set the tablet down. Same area? Same. The exam took longer this time. She was thorough. When she finished, she stepped back. Same issue as before. Inflammation. You're going to need to take it easier at work. I know that's not always possible, but if you keep straining it, this'll keep happening. He looked at her. I don't really have a choice. I need the hours. She didn't argue, just nodded. I understand, but do what you can. And if it doesn't improve, come back. Over the next 2 weeks, he returned twice more. The pain never fully went away. Each time, Dr. Celeste was patient. She adjusted treatments, suggested exercises. She didn't make him feel like he was wasting her time. On his 4th visit, she asked about Emma again. How's she doing? Daniel was pulling his jacket back on. She's good. Why? Just curious, she said. You mentioned she's 7. That's a great age. Yeah, she's smart, gets good grades. Dr. Celeste smiled. I'm sure she does. There was something in the way she said it that made him feel less invisible. As he left that day, he saw 2 men in white coats near the nurse's station, late 20s, watching him. The tall one said something under his breath. The other laughed. Daniel kept walking. The next visit, he noticed them in the hallway outside Dr. Celeste's office. When Daniel approached, they stopped talking. The tall one, Dr. Marcus Hall, stepped forward. "You're Daniel, right?" Daniel nodded. Marcus smiled without warmth. "You've been coming in a lot lately. Dr. Morgan told me to follow up." The shorter one, Dr. Owen Blake, leaned against the wall. "Must be nice. Personal attention from the best doctor in the department." Daniel didn't know what to say. He just stood there. Marcus glanced at Owen, then back at Daniel. "We're just saying. Most patients don't need 4 visits in 3 weeks. Daniel felt heat crawl up his neck. "I'm here because she told me to come back." "Sure," Marcus said. He stepped aside. "Exam rooms down the hall." Daniel walked past them, hands shaking. When Dr. Celeste came in, she noticed immediately. "Are you okay?" "Yeah, fine." Halfway through the exam, she stopped. "Did someone say something to you?" He hesitated. "2 doctors in the hall. They made a comment about how often I've been coming in." Her expression shifted. Something sharper. "What did they say?" "Just that it's a lot of visits." She set her gloves down. "I'm sorry, that's unprofessional. If they say anything like that again, you tell me." He nodded, but he didn't believe it would help. Over the next few visits, the looks got worse. The whispers grew louder. One afternoon in the waiting room, he overheard 2 women near reception. "That's the 4th time this month. I heard Dr. Morgan seeing him outside the clinic too." Daniel stared at the floor. When Dr. Celeste called him back, she seemed distracted. She went through the exam quickly. When she finished, she sat across from him and folded her hands. "Have you been hearing rumors? About us?" He nodded. "Yeah." She looked down at her hands. "I thought so. People talk. Is it true? Are you getting in trouble because of me?" She met his eyes. "Not trouble, but there's been concern about how often I'm seeing you, about whether it's appropriate. I can stop coming. That's not what I want. You're a patient. You need care. I'm not going to stop treating you because people are gossiping." She stood. "But if this gets uncomfortable, you can see someone else. I won't be offended." He shook his head. "I don't want to see them." She looked at him for a long moment, then nodded. "All right." 2 weeks later, Marcus was waiting outside the exam room. "Dr. Morgan's running late. I'll handle your exam today." Daniel frowned. "She didn't tell me that." Change of schedule. Marcus didn't explain, just started the exam. His hands were rougher, less careful. Daniel winced. "Sensitive?" "A little." Marcus didn't adjust. When he finished, he tossed the gloves in the trash. "Looks fine. Whatever Dr. Morgan's been treating doesn't seem like much. She said it was inflammation. Maybe it's psychosomatic. Sometimes guys come in looking for attention and don't realize it." Daniel's jaw tightened. "That's not what this is." Marcus smiled. "Sure, you're good to go." That night, he considered canceling all future appointments. But the next morning, his phone rang. "Daniel," Dr. Celeste's voice. "I heard Dr. Hall saw you. I wanted to check in." "Yeah, he did. How did it go?" "Fine." Silence. "Can you come in today? I have an opening at 3. "Why?" "Because I want to see you. As your doctor." He went. "What did Marcus say to you?" Daniel told her everything. Her posture changed. She stood straighter. "That's unacceptable. I'm going to file a complaint." "Don't. It'll make it worse." "For who? You or me?" She sat. "I'm not going to let them treat you like this, and I'm not going to let them dictate how I practice medicine." "Why does it matter?" She met his eyes. "Because you're not just a patient to me." The words hung in the air. "I shouldn't have said that. That's not professional." "But it's true," he said. She didn't deny it. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then Daniel stood. "I should go." She didn't stop him, but as he reached the door, "Come back in a week." "Please." He nodded. That week, rumors intensified. Someone said he was using his daughter to manipulate Dr. Celeste, that he was after her money. When he sat waiting for his next appointment, he heard voices in the hallway. She's risking her career for him. He's probably just after her money. Daniel stood and opened the door. Marcus and Owen were there. Problem? Marcus asked. Yeah, you. You've been talking about me for weeks. I'm just here because I'm sick. Owen stepped forward. You're here because you want attention from Dr. Morgan. That's not true. Then why do you keep coming back? Before Daniel could answer, Dr. Celeste's voice cut through. That's enough. She looked at Marcus and Owen. My office, now. They followed her. 10 minutes later, she returned and closed the door. I'm sorry. You don't need to apologize. Yes, I do. This has gotten out of hand. She sat across from him. I've been treating you more often than I should. Not because you don't need it, but because I wanted to see you. People noticed. Are they wrong? She didn't answer right away. Then, no? So what do we do? I don't know, but I can't keep pretending this is just professional. She stood. I think you should meet my family. He blinked. What? My parents. If this is going to be real, they need to know. I don't think that's a good idea. Why not? Because I'm not what they're expecting. Someone with money, education, not a guy who unloads trucks. She looked at him steadily. That's not how I see you. He was quiet, then asked the question, gnawing at him. Why does everyone keep mentioning money? Like I'm after yours? Dr. Celeste hesitated. Because my family has. A lot of it. How much is a lot? She looked at her hands. My grandfather founded Morgan Medical Systems, one of the largest medical supply companies in the country. When he died, he left everything to my father, who left half to me. Daniel stared. How much? The trust is worth about 40 million. The heir left the room. You're a millionaire? Technically, yes, but... And you didn't think to mention this. It's not relevant. Not relevant? Everyone thinks I'm some con artist, and you didn't think to tell me you actually have money? I didn't want it to matter. Well, it does. He grabbed his jacket. Because now I understand why everyone's looking at me like trash. I'm some broke guy chasing a rich doctor. That's not true, isn't it? What do your parents think I do? She didn't answer. That's what I thought. 3 days passed. On the 4th day, Emma woke with a fever. By evening it had climbed to 102. He called the pediatrician. Closed. Urgent care wait was 2 hours. Emma's forehead was burning. He picked up his phone, stared at Dr. Celeste's name, then pressed call. Daniel. Emma's sick. High fever. I don't know if I should take her to urgent care. How high? 102. Has she been drinking fluids? A little. Not much. Give me your address. I'm coming over. You don't have to... Address, Daniel. She arrived 20 minutes later. Jeans and a sweater. Medical bag in hand. She knelt beside Emma on the couch. Hi, Emma. My name's Celeste. I'm going to check on you, okay? She checked temperature, throat, ears, breathing, then gestured Daniel into the kitchen. Viral infection. Probably a bad cold, but the fever's high. If it goes above 104, we take her to the ER. Okay. Do you have children's ibuprofen? Yeah. Give her a dose. Keep her hydrated. I'll stay for a while. You don't have to. She looked at him. I know. She stayed. For 2 hours, she monitored Emma, told her stories about medical school. Emma smiled a little. The fever came down. By 10, it was 101. Emma fell asleep. She's going to be fine, Dr. Celeste said. Daniel sat on the couch arm. Thank you for coming. Of course. Why did you? Because you asked. That's not enough. She met his eyes. It is for me. They sat in silence. She's lucky, Dr. Celeste said, to have you. I don't always feel like I'm enough. You are. You show up. That's more than a lot of kids get. She stood. I should go. Call me if anything changes. At the door, she stopped. You're not making my life harder. You're making it make sense. Then she left. Daniel stood in the doorway long after she was gone, watching the empty street. The next morning, Emma's fever was gone. Daniel sat at the kitchen table and stared at his phone. He thought about what she'd said, about showing up, about being enough. He thought about the way she'd stayed without being asked. He called her. Can I see you? When? Now. They met at a coffee shop. How's Emma? Better, thanks to you. She smiled. I've been thinking, Daniel said, about what your father will say, about me not being right for you. She started to speak, but he held up a hand. He's not wrong. I don't have money. I don't have a degree. I have a kid. That's baggage. It's not. It is. But I'm tired of apologizing for it. I show up. I take care of my kid. I work hard. And if that's not enough for your parents, that's their problem. He leaned forward. I want to be with you, if you still want that, but I'm not pretending I'm something I'm not. This is who I am. She reached across and took his hand. This is who I want. Your parents are going to hate this. They'll get over it, or they won't. Either way, it's my choice. Okay. They sat there, holding hands. Outside, the city moved around them. Daniel, Dr. Celeste, and Emma walked down the street after her shift. Emma held both their hands, swinging between them. Can we get pizza? Emma asked. Dr. Celeste looked at Daniel. He shrugged. Sure. They walked together, a family. Not perfect, but whole. Daniel thought about the first time he'd walked into that clinic. The fear, the shame, the certainty that he didn't belong. He thought about how wrong he'd been. Not about the fear or the shame, but about not belonging. Because here he was, here she was, here was Emma, and somehow, against all odds, it worked. Dr. Celeste squeezed his hand. You okay? He looked at her, then at Emma, then back. Yeah, I'm good. And for the first time in a long time, he meant it.